Hi there. Welcome to Being in the Flow again. Yay!
Yay!
I'm Heather.
And I'm Elandara.
Yes, a dear sister of mine. We're going to talk today about your retreat center and the land. Land is very special to me. Land, the water, Mother Earth. So tell me about your retreat center.
Ooh, well, it's virginal. It's in the making. And I was shown a map, and I was sent up to this area, and I said yes. I was looking for home, and I was living in Connecticut for 35 years. And I moved up here, it'll be 3 years, September.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been that long already.
It has been that long.
Doesn't
and I
seem
met
that...
you after I had been there for just a month,
Yes.
which was delightful. And you partook in the first fire.
Yes.
Yeah, first council fire. So I knew when I was coming up to New York that it was really about the New Earth energies and anchoring the crystal cities, even though I wasn't really sure what that meant. And so I moved from an eighth of an acre in an urban area in West Hartford, Connecticut, to southern Washington County in 80 acres. And
Not urban at all.
not urban at all.
No.
180-degree difference in my lifestyle, and unbeknownst to me, it is very sacred property and has continued to grow and evolve. And last year I was told to give the land back to itself.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was very interested in that because I feel like the land belongs to itself. It doesn't belong to us. And I have a little thing about taxes and things like that. We won't get into that today. We just want to
No.
get into
Yeah.
the part of the land that heals, that gives to us everything.
Yeah.
Mother Earth gives me everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was told to just walk the land and to listen to it, and I did
I love the
that.
story about how you found it.
Well, there was so much synchronicity. I knew it was time to move 3 years before I moved, and I knew the time had come. And it actually dates back to at least 20 years ago when I received a moving vision. And I saw pine trees or evergreen trees, and then a light came from behind the trees and created an image of a being, like a Christ being, anchored into the land.
The one you
And-
painted.
Yes, I painted it right away. I did a quick sketch of it, and then I painted it. And I repainted it 3 years before I moved. And there was a lot of synchronicity around doing that. I had gone to a women's herbal, Eastern Regional Herbal Conference. I think it was in New Hampshire. And I sat in circle with a woman who is a beautiful storyteller, and Liz Gildane. Her last name's Gildane. She makes flower essences, woodland essences, and she tells stories about the medicines of the plants. And we sat in a grove of trees with hemlock and pines, and I had my back to a white pine tree. And she started talking about the forming of the Iroquois Federation, Confederacy, and the Great Law of Peace, and the Great Tree of Peace, the white pine. And she spoke about this, the Great Peacemaker, Daganawida, and Hiawatha. And as soon as she said that, I burst into tears. And I didn't know how much of a connection I had to that, but it went deep into my soul, and I knew that weekend, when I had done a shamanic journey, that there was a huge light in the middle of the Adirondack State Park that was bringing me home. And I had known that 10 years prior to that, that somewhere the Adirondacks was where I would find my home. I just hadn't been ready to move. So this has been a progressive sort of thing. I learned when I did move that painting was Daganawida, the Great Peacemaker. And so that's foundational for the work that I'm doing. I'm an ordained minister of peace, and so as you know, in the ceremonies we've done on the property, that's been a big part of it, to have those peace prayers as part of it. So there's been an unfolding. I was finally shown a map, and I was shown a smaller community, so I knew it wasn't big like Saratoga Springs or Albany. It was a much smaller community, and there was a river in it. So I kept trying to make that map. I tried to fit that as a puzzle piece. I thought the river was the Hudson. It didn't fit. And so I knew I just had to get my feet on the ground. So in the August of 2014, I came up to Saratoga Springs. I stayed in the Adirondacks overnight, but I was in the area for 3 to 4 days. And when I was in the area, I got my feet on the ground. I said, okay, Spirit, north, south, east, or west, show me. Show me where this puzzle piece is.
So very simple. So you just said very simply, tell me.
Show me.
Show me. Show me the direction.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Show me. That was key, because I asked. You've got to ask so you can receive. The other thing that was key is that I had experienced the Hudson in the past in drives up to Lake George, and I knew the Hudson to be very pristine and clean. And in a river valley, it wasn't, in Saratoga,
Right.
which is a river valley city area, it just wasn't clean, so I was disillusioned. And I was born in Montana, and I'm a mountain and river girl. And where Saratoga is, there just aren't mountains.
No.
So I was actually becoming kind of disillusioned, and I said yes to this. I've been getting visions, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing and feeling, so I put myself in the middle. And this is,
Where was that?
I put myself in the middle in terms of the middle of the dream.
Very
And I
nice.
said, Spirit, this is what I want. I love a place with, mountains and clean waters, and that's mostly what I was asking for. That's what I was looking for. My, my dream, my vision. Yet I still had no idea. And so I had gone to to have a mineral bath at the spa in Saratoga State Park. And I was leaving there feeling very refreshed, and there were a bunch of cars parked.
Did I see you there?
No, I didn't meet you till you came
Okay.
up to the property. But I'm driving out of the park, and there were cars everywhere. And I thought, I wonder what's going on there. So I didn't have anything to lose. I was there to explore and learn. So I went in and parked, and it was a farmer's market during the summer.
Yes,
It was August.
at Lincoln.
Yeah.
At Lincoln.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm walking around, and I started getting buzzed all over as I passed by this one table. So I knew I had to introduce myself to this person, and turns out her name is Judy Leone, and she lives in Greenwich. And when she knew I was looking to move up to this area and was looking for mountains and rivers and whatever, and she says, well, you've got to go to Greenwich then. And so I did, and by then I wasn't really looking at looking for at the GPS or looking where I was going. But when I got to Greenwich, I decided to look at my GPS, and there it was, and it showed
There
the bat and
was.
kill and the whole
How
puzzle
beautiful.
piece. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
So I ended up putting my house on the market in May of 2015. It sold really quickly.
Of course, in
fact, to people
Connecticut.
from Montana, but
Really?
it's just a lot of
How
synchronicity.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Spirit kind of gives us our way when we ask for it.
Yeah.
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 When we serve others. I
Yeah.
think.
So I put all my stuff in storage up here at Fort Anne, and moved on the 11th of June in 2015.
I met you in September.
Yes, you did.
Mhm.
So it took me a month to find the property. I had been given visions of pieces of the property. A lot of them were metaphoric, and that was a wild goose chase, just.
Of course.
But when I finally did put the offer on the house and saw the house, I knew it was where I was being sent.
Beautiful. I love that story.
I know.
Yeah, it talks about your purpose. It talks about your dream. It talks about saying yes. It talks about Spirit will guide us if we just listen,
Right.
and ask for it. You asked for it.
Well,
You
I
know-
wanted home.
Yeah,
I wanted
but
home.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
So many times we don't ask for it. We just take what comes to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we receive it, but we don't really ask for it. We
Right.
don't think we're worthy enough to ask for it. And I love that you asked for it. That you put yourself in the middle of your vision and asked for it. I want a mountain. I want clean water. And there you have a beautiful place.
Mm.
Beautiful waters.
Yeah.
Beautiful pristine waters, pristine land. The trees are just alive with personalities and love and just all kinds of joyousness is going on there all the time. All the time. So let's talk a little bit more about how you gave it back to itself, because this is a part of a quantum community. This is a part of the indigenous ways of living.
Right.
And I feel we have to bring those qualities, those pristine, all-encompassing,
The way of
compassionate,
the way of the earth.
yeah, just the real way,
Right.
the absolute truth,
Yeah.
the real way.
Yeah, it's in my bones.
Yeah,
It was in my bones.
you are.
Well, my oversoul is Hunkpapa Lakota Sioux, and I've been given a name by Sitting Bull, my chief, in spirit, Little Eagle Feather, and that's there aren't a lot of words. It's just so much love and emotion, and I know I'm carrying on the traditions for that tribe. And I've been past the peace pipe. I don't have a physical one, but I hold it in spirit.
Yes.
And that's part of why I've been sent to the land. And
Mhm.
there's even an area, a circle of pines with it's a sweet birch tree in the middle of the circle where I did ceremony during Standing Rock
Yes,
last
I
year.
remember.
And the land gave itself its name, Little Standing Rock Place. And so the giving the land back to itself actually it was asked last summer. And at first I thought, oh my God, I put everything into purchasing this land so I wouldn't be in debt. And now I'm giving it all away. But I said yes. And so
And Saint Germain said, not to worry about that.
right, and I don't.
Good.
I wouldn't have moved up here and done what I
Right.
did if I didn't have incredible faith, and I
Yes.
had no idea how much courage it would take to leave all of my
Everything.
everything behind.
Yeah.
I've been all my sources of income and all of my community from 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I found new tribe.
Yes. Yeah.
A new community,
Yeah.
and I'm not materialistic, so
No.
yeah, it's just been a huge journey with regard to that. So the giving the land back to itself, really, what's important is what we're forming there, and you're as much a part of it as I am, and you know that. Is to create a divine model land stewardship program.
Yes.
And it's in the making. It's coming from our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from listening to the land and co-creating with the nature spirits and with
Say that again. Co-creating with nature spirits.
right.
What a beautiful sentence. So pristine. So creative.
Honoring
So
the elementals who
Yes.
create what we are. That
exactly. But
Right.
it's so, I think sometimes we just glaze over it.
we've forgotten.
Yeah, we do. And I know she's my best healer. Whenever I have a
Right.
problem, I just go outside and I'm good.
Yeah,
Within seconds.
I
I'm
know.
good. It's just
I
amazing.
know. Yeah, that's pure medicine.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
anybody that has a trauma, I'll go out and I'll garden with them.
Yeah.
We'll just dig in the dirt,
Yeah.
pot flowers, or plant vegetables or seeds or something.
I'm glad you said that too, because the first thing that comes to my mind is the children. I want to create a children's
Yes.
forest and do children's programs. I've been shown to do nature's classroom. So there's a lot of that.
Talk a little bit about that, please.
Well, so much is just in the very virginal stages of it. But what I see is having children come and spending a week on the property, school kids.
Mhm.
There is a program that is in different states that is called Nature's Classroom. So my intention is to talk with the director, talk with the people there to see how the programs they have can adapt to what is important about the property that I now own and am giving back to itself. It's a watershed property. It's a young forest because it's been cut down, but there's the opportunity.
There's a few old trees
oh yeah,
there.
there's some specimen old, but what's important here is land conservation. So
Yes.
What can we do, and to watch and actually document the rebirth of. It's so symbolic. The rebirth of a forest that used to be old growth forest, but got cut down. And so
Kind of like we did as a humanity.
Yeah. Say more about that.
Well, I feel we've been cut down. We've been not ourselves for many, many
Okay.
eons. So by cutting down the tree, it's symbolic of us and our soul's journey embodied.
Right.
So we kind of took on the 3D world's views of ourselves and became very critical and very decimating, very destructive.
Right. Not conscious of what it
Correct.
did to the land and the
Or
nature
what,
spirits.
or what we did to our souls.
Right. Because we're one. We're all
Yes.
part of that. The
Yes.
elemental energies and creation.
So to see that coming up again,
I
it's a
know.
whole new rebirthing.
Right.
It's a birthing. It's a pregnancy.
Yeah.
It's a fertility. It's a growing. It's an evolving.
Right.
Yeah,
It is, and it's evolving in a new way too, because
very different.
As you know, I'm a visionary, and I've received a lot of images of structures that need to be created there. And what comes to my mind is the medicine wheel, where we did the very first clearing. And in the drumming, there was an
Yes.
old portal that was closed,
Mhm.
and another portal opened for the new earth energies. And this past winter, I was guided to create a new medicine wheel in that same location, and very simply, but it's in a wet area on the property.
Mhm.
And so I was holding in my contemplation, how am I going to be able to maintain, or it doesn't make that much sense to have it as a medicine wheel and be sloshing through the water.
Yeah.
It gets very wet in the spring, and so just asking Spirit and Mother Earth and the energy of the wheel, the elders, how are we going to do that? And concerned as to whether that really made sense. Staying open to it, and I was given a vision of a platform
Nice.
and an open geodesic dome on top of the
Ooh, fun.
wheel. So the wheel underneath there is an energetic imprint
Mhm.
that
Got it.
holds the energy for the beautiful work, for the sacred geometries and whatever is going to ceremonial
Yeah, I
work
see
that's-
ceremonial things being done there.
going to go on.
Yes.
So, I'm not recreating the past. I'm bringing it up, and the new buildings that are going to be built, including the renovation of the barn, has got to be off grid and hopefully state of the art with regard to the energy conservation. All systems have to be brought in. And I was laughing the other day at how perfect it is to have a watershed property. I have water to the side where the barn is, so it's going to get erased and become a two-story structure. I have a water to the right and through it. So there's got to be a lot of consciousness in the design of the systems.
Part of a quantum community.
Yeah,
Water running through has to have.
yeah,
If we become stagnant, we die. You know, we just shrivel up and die. If we're flowing and open to all new things, it comes in us. And it comes into the land. And I think they bring us more through the water, through the essence of the water, because we are 75% water. So I think that they bring in the essence through the water, and since we are water, it just coalesces. It just comes in us. We don't do anything for that to happen. It just happens.
Right.
So there's nothing to do.
Right.
There's only to be.
Well, I think the doing is being conscious.
Well, yeah.
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 And I think that's what is to do. And asking permission. Asking permission before doing things, and asking for, it's just been a huge teacher for me, very humbling also, to have enough patience to wait and
Wait for Mother Nature. Yes.
Right, and till we know it's ready,
and the seasons.
all of that. Just
That's
the
been so
rhythms.
delicious. The seasons we have here
Yeah,
in upstate New York. Yeah.
yeah,
So blessed. Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I love the snow. I love hibernation. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, in closing, our time is running out. No, it's not. It's not really running out. It's just we're gonna not do this anymore. We're gonna do something else. What would you like to say in summary? I would like to hear your mission statement and a little bit about how that came about and where maybe it's going, or maybe what you would like the community to know about you to be able to support you in this project, because it's a big project and it's a model
Right.
of land stewardship.
Right.
That's really, really important.
Well, it's a model of land stewardship. So there's two components. One is the conscious co-creation with nature spirits. The other part is the community, where it's located in historic Salem, and doing the work with the children. I am a specialist in the healing and creative arts. It's an incredibly healing piece of property. And so the expressive arts, the poetry, the writing,
Yes.
I write and illustrate children's picture books, and
So many authors will come there.
exactly, people have said, I want to come and write my book
Yes.
on the property because it's sanctuary.
Yes.
People come to the property and say, I'm home. And that just brings so much joy.
Yes.
Our friend Scott the other day said he's never been to a property where he felt loved so much.
Oh.
And because we love it,
Yes.
it's exuding love.
Yes.
And so what do I want people to know? I host people. I want to support those people who are of similar, education, creative arts, creative expression, who want to learn more about how to even communicate with the nature spirits. So
You have an essence
Education.
line.
yes, I do.
So there's that. You're an artist. There's that. You live in a lot of realms,
I do.
and it's lovely that you share the space so that others can discover that within themselves.
Yes, and that is exactly what happens, and that's my absolute joy, is that the land speaks to the people who come, and there are groomed trails. I maintain them, but they were already there.
I know. I love that.
With gorgeous glacial rocks.
Yes.
Just say, come and sit by me.
Yes.
Beautiful hemlock trees with rocks all around it where you can sit and just observe nature, to listen, to hear the stories, to write the stories, to sit by the pond and hear the song of the waters. There's just so much.
There's so many animals there, and birds, and the trees, and the wind that comes through there, and the sunsets.
Yeah,
It's just a lovely place.
it is.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
so much.
Yeah, thank you so
for being
much.
part of it and
Yeah.
inspiring me and holding this vision of quantum communities for the world, really.
An honor
Yeah.
and a privilege.
All right. That's a wrap.